Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Glare. So today, I'm going to be talking about a list that I've been really enjoying in Classic Hearthstone, which is a super budget Druid deck. It's running 4 copies of um, so 8 individual copies, 4 cards of rare cards from Classic Hearthstone. So it's very, very affordable. If you open your Hearthstone client right now and pick up the pack or the deck that you get offered when you come back after a long hiatus from the game, you can take any of those cards out of that, opening that you get with the coming back to Hearthstone welcome bundle, and you can make the dust that you need to make this deck. It's probably something like 4,000 dust, 3,000 dust. I haven't counted it yet. I certainly have it a lot more golden than you would need to play it. And you might actually have a lot of these cards already if you played any amount of Hearthstone more than a year ago. Obviously, stuff is adjusted, and you've probably been inundated with information. If you are a person who's coming back to Hearthstone, and obviously Classic might be new to you, as a mode. So Classic mode, if you don't know, is a newfangled thing where it's the old school of Hearthstone. So it's Hearthstone as it was in 2014, 8 years ago. It's really, really fun. The meta has shifted in Classic, though, and it's really, really aggressive. So you do need to consider that when you're deck building, and I actually ended up making this deck a lot more low to the ground. So the mana curve is like, it's pretty good. It's lower to the ground than you might expect. Like, I'm not running the Ancient of Lore, partially because it's expensive, but also because Nourish does essentially the same thing. Ancient of War I would consider running. So the cards I would consider running instead of what I have here is you could take out Power of the Wild for either Ancient of War or Leroy Jenkins. You could take out the Arcane Golem if you wanted to for Leroy as well. But I think you would probably want to put one Arcane Golem in with that Leroy, just because we're not running the Force Roar combo. And if you do have the Dust for the Force Roar combo, Savage Roar is a basic card. Force of Nature is an epic card. So if you don't have the Dust, obviously you don't want to spend the Dust. This list will do just fine. Some really powerful combos that you have are the Violet Teacher plus Power of the Wild into Savage Roar. Obviously, we're a ramp deck, so you have the old school Innervate, which was gain 2 mana crystals for 0 mana this turn only. So you can play Violet Teacher, say on turn 3 with a coin. After the Violet Teacher's on the board, you can go Innervate, Power of the Wild, and you suddenly have an insurmountable board on turn 3. Now, that's a high roll, but Violet Teacher is very, very strong. I wouldn't touch that if you're looking at stuff to tech in and out. I think Violet Teacher is a new addition that's very, very strong. Other stuff to consider, I run Mark of Nature. If you like that, you can keep it in. If you don't like it, I understand. It does make like Ascension Shieldmaster into a pretty insurmountable threat for aggro. So like if you're running against a lot of Warlocks, a lot of Zoo Warlocks, which you're bound to, you'll be able to play the Mark of Nature, and it just kind of shuts him out. Plus, if you have a charge minion on the board, you can play like an Arcane Golem and a Mark of Nature, and that's suddenly 8 damage burst out of nowhere. More if you have the Savage Roar, so you would go Arcane Golem, Mark of Nature, Savage Roar, and that's suddenly 12 damage. Plus, if you like have more mana available to you because of like Innervate, you can maybe Hero Power with that, and it just becomes like insane if you get to the late game. Nourish is mainly just a replacement for the Ancient of Lore, because you don't want to run that if you're running a basic and Classic only super budget deck, which is what we're trying to do here. Ancient of Lore is a good card. I think if you want to craft a card though between the Ancient of Lore and Ancient of War is the safer craft. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing that until you've played a couple of games out with the deck, because like it feels fine without the Ancient of War, feels fine without the Ancient of Lore, feels fine without the Leroy or the Force of Nature. Like this deck just feels pretty good. It's not top tier, but Druid certainly can be top tier if you end up liking this this deck, you can certainly do some fiddling with the minutiae, and you can, even if you don't have all the cards at the beginning, come together with a pretty good deck. Again, some cards you would want to add, or that Leroy that you might want to put in, the Force of Nature, anything that does mana ramp. So we already have the Innervate, the Wild Growth, and Nourish, but if you end up taking Nourish out, you might consider putting it back in, for instance. I've been messing around with Nourish versus no Nourish because we are a really low to the ground deck. The Nourish is for card draw, mainly, like I was saying, but the Mana Crystals are sometimes relevant to be able to support the amount of cards that we have. Really the goal with the deck, though, like I'm mulliganing for Violet Teacher, Senjin Shieldmaster, Druid of the Claw, and then the ramp to get to them. That's how this deck wins. You go really, really fast and win just by having overwhelming board presence. It's a very board-centric deck, which Hearthstone doesn't really have in Wild or Standard right now, so I find this really fun when I'm like tilting in Wild. I'll go play a couple of games of Classic, and this has been one of my go-tos recently. So I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, hop into some games and show you guys how this deck plays out. I hope you enjoy the content. If you don't know, I do stream on Twitch. This video will be coming up on YouTube, but I do stream on Twitch on a nightly basis. So it's twitch.tv/GL4R3. That should show up on your screen shortly. And I also post on Twitter my deck lists, my creative thoughts about the game. That's twitter.com/glare_HS, spelled with a 4 and a 3. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I hope to see you over on my Twitch channel as soon as possible. I do stream every night from 10 p.m. till about 2 a.m., so I hope to look forward to seeing you guys there. And without further ado, hop into a game. Alright guys, we're looking for a game. One of the issues with playing Classic is it's not the most popular game mode. That probably comes to no one's surprised that it is Standard that's the most popular game mode. So even at like Diamond 5, it can be tough to find a game. But the upside is that you get to hang out with Twitch chat and talk to people who are like hanging out there in the interim. But we did find a game really quick here, so we found a pretty good hand. Hunter, we want the Senjin Shieldmaster. I think we want Wrath to deal with their Knife Juggler, and I think we keep one Swipe. Swipe is good to deal with like really aggressive variants, and Wrath is good, like I said, to deal with the aggro stuff, like the Knife Juggler on 2. You can't really deal with it except by ramping to Swipe, for instance, or like attacking into it twice with the hero power, which feels incredibly bad. So goals in this matchup are to clear their board every turn, stay relatively high health, and eventually find the combo pieces that let us ultimately win the game. I decided to ramp there because our deck isn't like running as much expensive stuff, so being able to get a Senjin down early is just really good. He can kill command here. If he kill commands, we trade back by coining Swipe. We just need to keep his board clear every turn. That's the goal. That's good for us. He's tanking 3 damage and killing off a Crocolisk here, it looks like. So that's a good result. We're still on 30 health. Second Swipe. Because he did that, I'm going to play the Chillwind Yeti. It looks like he doesn't have kill command yet. And even if he does, he has to also trade face into the 4/5. So we go Yeti on 4 as well. And Swipe. Oh, he isn't attacking. Okay, he's trying to get his value out of his weapon there. I'm going to play the Yeti here. I'm going to trade here. He'll probably trade his face into our 4-2, I would imagine, and then go face with the 3-1, which lets us swipe another minion if he plays it, or swipe face. That's a Huffer, or a Misha, I mean, we're super happy about it. This is, like, primo, right? This is just how Hearthstone is supposed to go. So he tanks the 4 damage, and we just swipe and clear his whole board. I think that was a throw from the opponent, but I don't know his hand, so I could be wrong. Do this, and then we're actually going to innervate out the Harvest Golem for a sticky minion. So we're achieving the goals of the deck. The goals of the deck are to ramp to our 4 drops on turn 2 and 3, 1 if possible, and then just eternally clear the opponent's board. So we can go swipe and wrath for 1. We're going to wrath 1 first because we don't want to draw last like potatoes. We want to pretend we know what we're doing, so we go wrath for 1 and then probably swipe. Push the 6 face, so technically we're pushing 7 face because we also get the damage from the swipe. So I could double wrath here as well. I want to save a wrath though. I'm going to go draw first, see what we find. We find a Violet Teacher. That's going to be good. We can go Violet Teacher wrath next turn. I think the game's over. We always do the swipe on the minion because trading the 4 attack of our Chillwind Yeti would damage the Yeti, and he could be running cards like Explosive Trap. Yeah, we are very close to just winning. He might concede here. Everything went right this game, right? Like, he didn't have his early game. We just kind of steamrolled this guy. It could be misdirection, technically. My guess is it's explosive. We're going to test it. Huh. Yeah, it's explosive. Could be misdirection. I'm going to attack with the 4-1 first. And we're going to leave the 1-1 up, probably. Yep. We hard win through this, though. I'm going to play the Apprentice. What is it called? The Teacher. Sorry, not the Apprentice. When we draw a card, we get a Nourish. So we have Reload. You'll notice that it's turn 7, and we're not out of the game, right? Like, we're going sort of late into the game here. Obviously, it's classic, so like turn 10, 12, 14 is not unusual. So we have lethal if it isn't explosive. They usually just run 2 explosives. Alright. I don't really care about his minion here. I'm going to test misdirection. It's going to be explosive. Alright. And we're going to go Nourish for draw. Just going to go wide again. He doesn't have any more explosives, so I think we win. I can buff the 3-3 so that he can't kill it. You can also buff the 1-5, the 1-1, make it a 1-5. Let me do that. That protects our Violet Teacher, and then next turn we just kind of clobber him, right? Druid of the Claw becomes a 4-4, and then we can rush. I mean, Savage Roar and go face. It's Taunt on his minion. That's ultimately annoying, but I think fine. It's going to attack into the 3-3, probably. Yep. Alright. This is where it can be kind of tough. We have the double Savage Roar. Do I have a lethal here? Doesn't look like it. I need to kill that. So I think we need to go Druid of the Claw for charge. And Savage Roar. And we do this. Oh, it's lethal. For some reason, I was thinking these would also have taunt, but they don't. Cool. So we did exactly what the deck wanted to do. The draw into Savage Roar was like not necessarily necessary, but it gave us more information. We did need the what is it called? The 5 mana 4/6 Druid of the Claw. We needed the Druid of the Claw to close that game out. But ultimately, that was just a good example of how the deck works. It still does what it needs to do, besides in like really specific niche scenarios, even though we're not running all the cards that we could be running because we're trying to be budget. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. That was fun for me. I mean, I'm not sure if I misplayed anywhere. You guys can feel free to comment about that in the description of the video, rather in the comments. And yeah, that was a fun one. Hope you guys had as much fun there as I did. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. That was a fun little experience for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube video. I do, like I said at the beginning and throughout the video, I do stream as well. You guys should check me out. I'm live every day from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern US. Testing just basically beyond just wild Hearthstone, which is what I mainly do. I've been playing a lot of Classic, a little bit of Magic the Gathering Arena, and some variety stuff like that. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this Classic Hearthstone super budget showcase on a deck I've been working on, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next week with another episode of Gaming with Glare.